Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to another Beyond the Artist Stand. Today, we have Sue. He is going to be talking about a lot of Unreal lighting basics. This is an opportunity for you to either brush off your old skills of learning about lighting in Unreal, or if you've never really touched anything with lighting when it comes to Unreal, Sue is going to show us a lot of amazing skills and workflows that will help you get started. With that being said, I just wanted to say Sue's an amazing lighting artist. If you guys haven't seen his work, it is spectacular. Definitely go check out his art station or his website. He is popping off like crazy. I love his work. He's just an all-around amazing person. So, with that being said, I'll let you take it away, Sue, and you can kind of start your own introductions.
Thank you, Adam. So yeah, my name is Sangsu, but you can call me Sue. That's kind of a nickname for everybody. And I'm going to talk about Unreal Engine lighting basics today. So firstly, what does lighting do in game design? Basically, it makes your work look better. It will also make your story tell better, even if that story is, hey, I put a lot of time and effort here, and you should look at here, and you can highlight that. And here is my example of telling a story through lighting. And as you can see, the first image has just the directional light, and it tells no story at all. It shows the work, and it does a purpose of light, but it has no story in it. But as you can see, the second image has only the basic elements in it, and it tells a story, and it sets the mood for you. And here is an example of simple prop work looking better with just a simple tweaks here and there and basic lighting setup. And I will show, I will do a little bit of, not demo. I'll explain the functions of lighting in Unreal. I'll explain the basics of it. So I just opened the scene. It's just a third-person map, the basic one. And I'm going to show you directional light first. So the directional light, it is the sun in real life. It is infinitely far away, and it will be the main source of light regardless of your work. And first thing I'm going to show you is how to control directional light. And if you click on the viewport when you're in directional light, click Control L and you get to control the directional light. And if you want to control it more, if you want to be more gentle about your control, you can go to rotation and change your value there. And I'm going to show you. And then, okay, the first thing you have to do in lighting is if you're going to bake the lighting, you can put it on static or stationary. But if you're not going to bake it, if you just want your work to look better, make everything movable. It will make your work infinitely look better, and you'll work with it better too. And under directional light, you have intensity. It's the value of your directional light. It changes how bright your directional light is. You can change the color. And you can also change the kind of color with temperature if you come from photo or film background. This gives you control of the realistic and and the source angle will change how sharp the shadow is. As you can see on the wall, as I increase the value of the source angle, it will get more blurry. If I drag it down, it will get more sharper. The default is 0.5. And then the indirect lighting intensity. So the indirect lighting, it controls the lights that bounce off of the other objects. So as you can see, if I increase the indirect intensity, the shadows will get brighter because the light is hitting this cube and hitting on the ceiling. I'm gonna drag it down. And I'm gonna show you how to fix your Unreal, fixing its own intensity. And let's go to visual effects and put post-process volume. Post-process volume is basically an easy shader for you. You can control everything and make sort of an shader for yourself. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this infinite. So it affects everywhere. And I'm going to type expo and enable this for. So the minimum value, I'm going to put -1, and the maximum value, I'm going to put 1. So minimum value, it limits the darkest value of your scene, and maximum controls the brightest value of your scene. And you can see if I drag the compensation, you can see that it's getting brighter and darker. I normally set this -1 minimum and 1 maximum, and just put it on 1. And then I go back to directional light and change the intensity or whatever, and then set how bright my scene is first. And second thing I want to show you in post-process volume is bloom. I'm gonna enable top 3. What bloom does is it will soften the edge of your light, like you can see here, and it will make your scene more glowy. So if you want that vibe, use bloom in post-process volume. I'm gonna disable this, and then I'm gonna go over to, I'll show you skylight. Again, I'm gonna set this movable, and now hide this. And then, so what skylight does is it grabs the information of your scene or HDRI that you set up, and it will kind of mimic that. So if you're in real-time capture or capture scene, it will automatically see your scene and try to match that. But I don't have any HDRI right now or scene, so I'm gonna put it in specified cube map. I'm gonna go in and type gray. I'm gonna click gray texture cube. So as you can see, I grabbed kind of like HDRI that Unreal Engine already has. And as you can see in the shadow, it matches that HDRI. But if you have your own, if you're an environment artist and if you have your own scene and skybox, you can just check real-time capture and it will calculate instead of the HDRI. I'm gonna leave it on. And you can also change intensity here. It is really sensitive, so I don't recommend dragging it. I'll put number in there. You can also change color. And it typically just deals with indirect lighting instead of directional light. So if you want to be more specific with your shadow, I recommend using skylight. Then let's go to height fog. So height fog is just a fog in real life. It will bounce off of the environment and the light. So what you have to do to see the fog when the color is black, you have to put sky. So now if I hide and unhide the fog, you can see the fog is bouncing off of the sky there and making blue fog down there. And in the fog, you can also change color on its own. You can change the density of it. The height fall off determines where your fog will start. Because the heavier the fog is, if the fog is heavier, it will go to bottom. If it's lighter, it will go to top. So if you want to decide where it starts, use height fall off. And density, sky. Okay. I'm gonna hide these. And I'm gonna explain more about the basic lights now. I'm gonna grab point light. Point light is just like a light bulb in real life. It illuminates the space or area around it. And in point light, set it to movable. There's intensity again. There is light color. And attenuous radius, it changes the radius of the light, how much the light will affect. And source radius will determine how big your source of that light will be. So if it's bigger and the intensity is the same, then your light will be more softer because the light has to emit in bigger area, but intensity is the same. So the light will be softer. And you can also change with temperature, same with directional light. And you can also change indirect lighting, same as directional light. Right. And then spotlight. Spotlight is a light that works with the cone. And it's probably the light that everyone's seen in real life at least once. Same thing here. You can change intensity, how bright it is. You can change the color and attenuous radius. And because it's the cone shape, it will spread out like a cone shape. And inner cone angle is it's like the source of that light, but it works more like a barn door. So if the inner cone angle value is closer to outer cone angle, your light will get more sharper. The edge of your light will be sharper like that. And if the inner cone angle value is lower, it'll be more softer. And source radius is the same thing with point light. And difference is the tenuous radius looks like the cone, but the source radius, it stays the same. Then rectangle light. Rectangle light is one of my favorite lights. It mimics the softbox light from photo and film lighting, and it creates soft lighting than harsh. You can change the intensity, and you can change the color again, tenuous radius. And the difference with the other lights, it has source width and height. And as you can see, it has rectangle shaped lighting. You can make the source angle bigger, and it will illuminate bigger area. But it's like I said, it's like source radius. It will change how soft the light gets, and as you can see in metallic ball, metallic sphere, if it's smaller, the light is harsh. If it's bigger, the light gets softer. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I set up for a scene. So I put directional light, fog, sky, skylight, and I set up post process volume. And you can see all of that except post process volume in Light Mixer. So if I get rid of this, then you can just click everything and spawn everything in your scene. So this is how I start my scene and change from there. And I start from bigger light, direction light, and then go down to small point, rectangle spotlight. And I recommend starting from brightest and then make it down to like dark and then highlight. So you can have more control over your scene. And yeah, that's pretty much all for the basic elements that I use. So thank you.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you, Sue, so much. It's a great opportunity to show off a lot of the basics of Unreal, which is really cool. I think the next step now, at least, is if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute themselves and kind of go from there. I think for me, at least, the first question I have for you, Sue, is uh, if someone would want to go into maybe learning about lighting and kind of working towards it, what is something you would suggest of like maybe a daily practice, or how would someone go about like practicing the skill of lighting up a scene? I would say.
So Unreal and Epic Games has great free stuff in it, which Quixel Bridge will not be free later. But I just grab some stuff and then start practicing it. And in Epic Games, go to Marketplace, go to free for the month, and grab environment there and practice your light there because they're free. And even if it's not free for the month, just go to free and then look up environment, and you have tons of free environment that you can practice with. And in my library, I have tons of environment that I can practice. I also have some characters that I can practice my portrait lighting. So just grab some free stuff or ask your friend, hey, can I light your scene? Can I practice it? And I practice from there.
That's really good. That's a smart idea of using some free assets to kind of relight some stuff, which is really cool. Sorry, I have a lot of questions for you, I guess, Sue. So I guess the other question I have for you too is when you go about, I guess maybe like presenting this work on your portfolio, what are, I guess, some like basic tips or things that people should probably start thinking about when starting to create a lighting scene, but then also showcasing this on their portfolio?
So, like I said, you don't have to have a full written story. It can just be like, I spend a lot of time making this part. Like if it was UV or texture part, then you can minimize your lighting and show off your texture work. Or if you spend a lot of time uh, making an environment, then make a light that can show every single part of your environment. If it's character, zoom into your character and put point light or rectangle light, small lights here and there, and show the details of your character there. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a story. It can be that you have to see this. This part is my favorite spot. You have to see this. Can be a story too. So
So
yeah,
you recommend so you recommend multiple point lights?
if you have to, if you're a character artist and you have to zoom in like that, then because you're so zoomed in here, you can just put one here, or you can put rectangle light here, depending on what you want to achieve in there, and illuminate this shadow. I say, like, oh, the other opposite of side is not illuminated; it's so shadowed. Then put some rectangle light, put some point light here, and now the other side is also bright. And if you're a weapon artist, you can also do that, or point light and show details of your weapon. Yeah, it doesn't have to be necessarily spotlight or point light, rectangle light. Whatever works best for you, you'll have to figure it out. And I also recommend having mood board and inspiration for your lighting, because if you don't have great lighting, your best work can be your worst work.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Okay. So to make the point or directional light less intense, the post-processing volume will help with that.
Yeah, so this will exposure is under lens, or you can just type in exposure. This will, you will get to control how bright your scene can get. And so you're in charge of the scene instead of the engine telling you, hey, this is too bright. I'm going to make it darker.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I guess my last question for you, Sue, is if there is any advice you can kind of give yourself. I know you have been doing this for a while now, but is there any advice that you would give your past self when you just started to jump into this like lighting adventure when it comes to games?
It is this going to be in the beginning?
Yeah, go for it. I'll cut it out if we need to.
um, it's that practicing is obvious. It's like the more you practice, the better it gets. And I didn't know about the free stuff until I talked to some professional lighting artists out there. One of them were like, "Hey, did you know about this free stuff in Unreal?" Like, no, I only worked off of other people's work. And they were like, "Well, you should use this because you can use free stuff." I was like, "I wish I knew this earlier, so I could practice more, and I could have transferred my knowledge in film and photo lighting earlier and done more things."
That's great advice. Awesome. So I guess that kind of wraps up this episode. Thank you guys all for taking some time. Again,